Hello everyone, myself Rajni, and today we are going to study a very important topic that is Newton's three law of motion. So, in this video, we will learn about how force and motion are related, what did Isaac Newton observed, and what are the Newton's three law of motion. So, firstly, what is the relation between force and motion? Before that, what do you mean by a force? A force is a push or a pull to an object. It is often a result of an interaction between two objects. So, an object will move when a force is exerted upon it. So, when we talk about motion, we consider three things, that is, inertia, velocity, and acceleration. So, what is inertia? It's an object resistance to changing motion or the state of rest. Nextly, velocity. The speed and direction of an object in motion is velocity. And then acceleration, the change in the object's velocity is known as acceleration. Now, what was Isaac Newton's idea? Apart from gravity, Newton also explained how the balance of force affects an object movement. He stated that when a force is balanced, the object will remain in the state of motion, either at rest or in constant motion. He stated that when the forces are unbalanced, the object will either speed up, slow down, or change its direction. But what about the other factors that resist the motion of an object? That is friction and air resistance. So, by considering these factors that oppose the motion, he developed his idea into the other factors that opposes the motion, that is friction or air resistance. He further developed his idea by considering all these factors into law that we known as law of motion. So here's a quick activity for you all. Together with a seatmate or your friend, find different ways of moving your chair in different direction without standing up. And note the following observations. What happens when the chair is pushed by the other person? What do you observe when you push each other at the same time? Note down your observation and discuss the result with your friends. So, let's move to the Newton's first law of motion, also known as the law of inertia. This law states that object in motion will stay in motion and object at rest will stay at rest unless a force is acted upon that object. So, this means that an object which is in its state of rest will tend to remain in the rest state unless or until an external force is acted upon that object. For example, the golf ball will remain on the ground still until the golfer hits it. Now let's move on to Newton's second law of motion, also known as the law of acceleration. It states that the acceleration of an object with constant mass is proportional to the net force action on it and is the same direction of the net force. For example, the car accelerates forward since the force due to its engine is greater than the friction on the road. So, this law is also known as F is equal to ma. Now, let's move on to the Newton's third law of motion, that is the law of action and reaction. Every action force has a reaction force and that is equal in size and opposite in direction. For example, on a rocket launch, the shuttle exerts a downward force and the reaction force of the same size pushes the rocket upwards. Here's a quick recap of our whole video. Force and motion are related because motion is a result of force. The motion of an object depends on the balance of force acting on it. Newton's law of motion are the law of inertia, the law of acceleration, the law of action and reaction. So, the first law states that from my side, thank you for watching my video.